In 1988, Tom Holland's Child's Play came to life on the big screen. The US horror movie had a budget of $9 million and made less than 45 million worldwide back, which is a rather moderate success. He got mostly positive reviews and found its fan base quite rightly over the years. Today, Chucky is an integral part of modern pop culture. He's based on Hasbro's My Buddy doll from the 80s and, according to some sources, also on Robert the Haunted doll, a supposedly cursed doll from the beginning of the 20th century. Also adapted since 2015 into till now 5 so-called movies, horribly cheap and fast shit out flicks, which look like home videos with zero entertainment value whatsoever. There were also some short films like the 8-minute Chucky's Family Vacation Slides from 2005 or the Chucky Invades 1-minute clips from 2013. In which he invades other horror movies like Psycho, The Purge, Mama or Drag Me into Hell. In 2008, Dangerous Worry Dolls was released in some countries under the misleading title Dangerous Chucky Dolls or Deadly Chucky Dolls. The horribly boring crap about a detained woman which at night has tiny dolls crawling into her ear and possesses her is a typical Child's Band Full Moon production, which means he looks like shit and shamelessly steals ideas from real movies, like Stuart Gordon's classic From Beyond. From my point of view, by people who probably also had something crawling into their ears, what clearly took a dump into their brains. A fleeing serial killer, played by Brad Dourif, who speaks Chucky in all movies except for the reboot, performs mortally wounded a magic voodoo ritual that transforms his mind into a good guy doll. The doll calls itself Chucky, short for his real name Charles Lee Ray, and ends up as birthday present for the 6-year-old Andy by his unsuspecting mother. Chucky now uses Andy as cover to kill people, undetected with fake accidents for which Andy is partially even blamed. Chucky finds out that if he doesn't soon transfer himself into a real body, he will slowly become human and has to stay in the doll's body forever. But he can only transfer into the first person to whom he revealed his true identity, which is Andy. Child's Play was for me always the positive exception when it came to puppet horror. He has an interesting and fast-paced story, is well cast and has many practical effects. In 1990, John LaFia's Child's Play 2 was just more of the same, only this time bad. Andy is now living in foster care as his mother was sent to an insane asylum after the events from 2 years ago. Which of course got covered up by everybody involved, I guess. Because reasons, the production company elaborately reconstructs Chucky, even though it doesn't make any sense at all. Also for reasons, he comes back to life and tries again to transfer his spirit into Andy, and fails again because script says so. This Ballfest was able to triple its $30 million budget worldwide back, but got quite rightly mostly negative reviews, and is still high art compared to Jack Bender's Child's Play 3 from 1991. 8 years after part 2, Andy, who of course still nobody believes, ends up in a military school? The production company decides to re-release the Good Guy doll, using for whatever reason the dirty and even after 8 years still bleeding remains of Chucky. They apparently only infect one single doll, which manages, God knows how, to mail itself to the military school. There Chucky reveals, because of Soul Transformation Rule 2748, new doll body, therefore no more Andy required anymore or something like that, to a little boy who also hangs around because of script, his real name, Charles Lee Ray. Chucky now plays deadly pranks as usual. Andy and his cadet girlfriend tries damage control and nobody believes him, also as usual. There are the usual military school harassment scenes and, of course, a little child that needs to be saved. What I can't save is this unimaginative junk, which quite rightly was neither liked by audiences nor critics. He made with the same costs as part 2, 13 million, this time not even 21 million worldwide back. In 1998, Ronnie Yu's reference parade Bride of Chucky added to the horror franchise also comedy. A not really subtle allusion to Bride of Frankenstein, as there are even movie clips used from it. After the events of Part 3, Tiffany, Charles Lee Ray's former girlfriend, can manage to bring Chucky's remains back to life. After an argument, he kills her and puts her soul into a female doll. Leading the two of them now want to return to human bodies by using a MacGuffin pulled out of their ass, an amulet pulled out of the coffin, of course. The quite entertaining movie was able to double its $25 million budget at the worldwide box office.
I don't care what you do to them, just be good to me.
Besides the puppet erotic scenes, I thought he is okay, at least in comparison to the other crap continuations, but I'm not a fan of the Chucky sequels in general. Other reviews, especially from horror fans, were, for me, very understandable, rather mixed. As like in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, also especially since the god-awful fourth part, the movies became, thanks to stupid scripts and too many silly jokes, themselves kind of a joke.
Seem to always listen to the bad things that you do. You never do them to me. I'm always talking about reputation.
In 2004, Don Mancini's completely fucked up horror comedy Seed of Chucky ended the cinema run for the original series. A living doll and self-proclaimed pacifist brings in the prop department of the new Chucky movie his supposed parents to life. Because of his unclear gender, they give him the name Glenn or Glenda, an unfunny and cheap allusion to the Ed Wood classic. The newfound family now goes on a murder spree and stay in order to obtain new human bodies unnoticed in Tiffany actress Jennifer Tilly's home. The movie has some nice effects, but the story is unimaginative and boring. Every scene with the alleged offspring is almost unbearable, which goes also for the scenes with the musician who was Halloween 8 less erection style, again confused for an actor. Seed of Stupidity could only make twice of its small $12 million budget worldwide back.
Just be good to me.
And is for good reasons at the bottom of many Chucky lists.
Play with this.
In 2013, Don Mancini's The Curse of Chucky was probably his cinema run loss, so he came direct to video. The paraplegic Nika, the movie takes mainly place in her home, receives in the mail a talking doll. Chucky kills unnoticed her mother, and during the movie several family members and guests. She finds out that the doll is possessed by the former serial killer Charles Lee Ray, who was once supposedly in love with her mother and now is taking revenge on her family. The this time again serious horror movie takes place after part 3 and refers by the appearance of Tiffany to part 4 at the end.
It's a game of chances, so I'll take my chance with you, and you I won't try to change.
Curse of watching Chucky's far-fetched backstory went for reasons well with critics, while this boring nonsense failed with audiences and also with me. 2017, Cult of Chucky under the same direction was the direct-to-video continuation nobody was asking for. Andy from the first parts is now a grown-up and has, as a result from the end credit scene in part 6, a possessed Chucky head in his safe.
Just be good to me in the morning.
Nika has been in the insane asylum since 4 years. As usual, nobody believes her. When she is transferred to another institution, several Chucky dolls show up. And after the first people die, she finds out that all of them are possessed. Because of reasons, Chucky is now able to be in several places at once. One trick pony and Chucky inventor Mancini has, besides Chucky, nothing noteworthy on his achievements list. And since there are obviously still not enough Chucky movies on this planet, he is currently producing for TV a whole Chucky series. Thanks God this shit is not out yet. Wait a second. We have now already 2022. Fuck.
I won't tie you down when you need me. I'll be around. I'll be good to you. Be good to me.
Lars Klifberg's Child's Play reboot from 2019 was made without Mancini. It has a new cast and Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky. 13-year-old Andy gets from his single mother an artificial intelligent Buddy doll, which answers to the name Chucky and gets smarter by constantly learning from Andy and his new friends. No one knows that a dismissed employee in revenge has erased all safety protocols of this doll. As a result, Chucky takes Andy's wishes too literally and begins a bloody series of murders. The movie made its small $10 million budget more than 4 times worldwide back and went slightly better with critics than with audiences. The new Child's Play is well done and has an acceptable cast, but thanks to the illogical premise and the inconsistent realization, it's impossible to take him seriously. While in the original the puppet had voodoo powers and the manipulative personality of the psycho killer Charles Lee Ray, which at least partially explained the unusual strength and the motivation. Buddy has only Chucky's name, which doesn't make any kind of sense since it's this time not the short name for Charles. And also some sort of good to evil switch.
Someone set this thing to evil.
Reminds me more of that Simpsons episode Treehouse of Horror 3 that satirized Child's Play back then. In the original, Andy was just a stupid little kid, and Chucky was almost as tall and of course as an adult much smarter. It made sense that Andy couldn't communicate so well and that nobody believed him. In the new version, we have to believe that a teenager lets himself get tricked or overwhelmed by a normal little doll, which supposedly has no magic powers. Sure. And also the murders themselves lack any believable motivation, since no one is possessed by a serial killer. The interesting smart home as a death trap concept is completely wasted, and for no plausible reason the doll is way too strong for a toy. In the script, magic has just been exchanged with technical progress, but the plot and all the characters still act like some kind of magic is involved. In 2021, Chucky appears with 16 45-minute episodes so far and continues the original series after part 7 on TV. In the first 8 episodes, Chucky gets gay teenager Jake as his new owner and eliminates, among others, he just kills people who want to bully him, like his single father, after which they live with his uncle. However, also keeps trying to get him to kill someone himself. At one point, Jack teams up with a girl to fight him. Meanwhile, Chucky's former allies and enemies also find themselves in town. There are also flashbacks to Charles Lee Ray's past, his transformation into a murderer, his relationship with Tiffany, how he became aware of voodoo, and so on. In the second season, Chucky seeks revenge on everyone who prevented his sinister world domination plan from the last final. The series is surprisingly well done, has often quite nice practical effects and many guest appearances from the movies. It would actually be quite entertaining without the constantly rubbed in your face annoying as fuck teen gay romance shit.